right. All right, with the time being about 6 o'clock, I'd like to call the Town Building Committee meeting to order for October 15th, 2025. First order of business, WT Rich, Construction Manager updates.
Chair, I'll give you a quick schedule update here. As Brian connects, if you've driven by the site, I know some of the police and fire were there today during the keying meeting. A lot of the sites coming together, trees, shrubs, loam, seeding. So it's really starting to look nice out there and finished. We get the gas line going in public safety, so that'll be wrapped up, and we plan to final pay at the end of the month in the public safety portion of the project. So yeah, final site finishes are going in. Additional sidewalks and such are happening. Asphalt sidewalks are going to happen towards the end of the month as well. Inside the building, we're still in the apparatus bay with our vehicle exhaust system. The tracks are all being mounted, all the overhead work.
You guys have you done the coat? Put the coating down yet, or is that?
The floor is not. That's going to happen. That's
waiting.
pretty much the last thing we're going to do in there. So we got to. We've had a protective covering on the slab this whole time. So a lot going in. Garage doors are going in. In the detention cell, we just put the detention doors in this week. So the cells and all that is starting to come together.
The masonry at the masonry at the front elevation of fire looks better.
Yeah.
Like it's been wrapped up.
Yes.
Believe me, my eyeballs have been on it.
Yes. Yes. So yeah, we're still doing some QC around the building with the masonry, but we're getting better on that. Carpets are going in, public safety, still going on with millwork in the meeting room. Town hall is kind of catching up to where public safety was, with finishes going in, flooring. We have tomorrow the main monument stairway, the main stairway in Town Hall. The Miss Metals stringers and risers are coming tomorrow, so very exciting to see that happen and come together. So yeah, it'll be final painting and starting to really shape up here.
What are you looking at for final substantial completion date?
We will go over that. We're showing right now on our CPM schedule that we're 5 days off of the January 30th date, but we're confident that we can make up that time. So we've made a lot of progress. We've been there Saturdays for the past 8 weeks, I'd say, or 8 to 10 weeks.
And you guys are working longer days too, right? I mean, I was on site last Friday. You guys were still going.
Yep.
Late, so.
Long days.
Yep.
And Saturdays, and so we're pushing, keep pushing. So,
Any other questions, folks? All right, moving on. PCA 360.
Well, we have, Matt has two
yeah,
more
Matt.
slides
Oh,
to
yeah.
go
Still
through.
going? Oh, sorry, Matt.
sorry,
Sorry
just
about-
so we're still in pretty good shape with contingency and allowances, as you can see, with the remaining balances. So close to $3 million between the two. So we've got a healthy contingency and allowance balance. Even though we are starting to use like overtime and other allowances, but we're using them for good use and to keep us on schedule.
Are we envisioning we're going to be dealing with some more winter conditions coming up soon?
To be determined, especially with some, depending on what we get into with the grading changes and some of the forthcoming changes.
But the heating systems in the buildings, we
The
should be
heating
all
system,
set.
we're going to be using the permanent heating system.
Gotcha.
Yeah. Yep. We're ready to fire those up in both buildings.
Yeah, so we'll talk a little bit more about site and winter and stuff like that.
Right.
So that's coming up in a
Yep.
little bit.
Okay.
And then owner change orders, Brian, I believe, will present tonight.
Yep.
Change order 11. That's really it. So. Cool. Thank you.
Okay. Now we're ready.
Now you're up. PCSB 60, you are up.
Thank you. So just give you a quick update. So we sent out our OPM monthly report last week, so we're going to get into the detail of that in our presentation tonight. So it's just an example of some of the pages out of our latest report. I showed a similar schedule to Matt. This one is the original, like our very first meeting. This hasn't changed. We're still tracking to the original schedule. So a lot of the tasks that we've now encountered at the bottom, startups, like we're now, the rooftop unit at Public Safety is actually moving air. They're balancing. They're about 90% balanced. So we had a meeting today. We were talking about the VRF systems getting commissioned, starting the first 4 next week. So, we're already beginning some of that early phases of the startup process on the buildings. So it's great. And as Matt said, we're very much into interior finishes on both buildings. So the monthly construction manager schedule update, I did provide that to you earlier today. And we'll just talk briefly about some of the things that are in that report that Matt prepared. So this covers everything up to October 1st. So in Matt's update each month, he tells us, what are the things that have the risk of impacting schedule, what are the things that are now on the critical path. And for the longest time, it's been site. It's been, that has been the thing that's been popping on the critical path. This month, we now see Stair A at Town Hall. So Matt telling you that the materials are showing up tomorrow and they're starting that is great news. Yep. It is because it's the critical path of the project. So this stair is got a lot going on. It's very visible. There's a lot of detail to it. And the review process in the shop drawings is pretty extensive, a little longer than we had hoped, and that's why it's now the critical thing. So reviewing Matt's schedule and his tasks, they'll get there, I think, but it's going to be one of the last things in Town Hall to get finished.
The stair, you're saying?
The stair in the lobby, but the rest of the building is in pretty good shape. Will be done well before that. So it is something that we're tracking. It's an important part of getting that building delivered. So we'll be continuing to track that. So other things that are on our radar, this point in the project, we try not, we don't want to see any changes or anything at this point because we're trying to stay focused on getting the project done. And, we're still tracking pricing requests. These are changes that are needed on the project that we've got drawings that the architect has prepared in their team and now are being priced by Matt. So we still have quite a few PRs out there. So that's a little unsettling. We want to start to see that to drop off. So some of these are related to, like we had a couple months ago, we had like the town departments in furniture coordination. Don't want to put the desk there. We're going to put it on this wall. We're going to add some outlets, or we're going to move a few things. So some of that's what's happening right now with these PRs, and then supplemental instructions. We now have different trades on site, and now they're looking at the project for the first time, and they have questions. And so ASIs are usually clarifications to the design, and most of them now are related to finishes and millwork and casework and the stair and so forth.
Brian, correct me if I'm wrong, that doesn't necessarily translate into an additional cost.
No, ASIs typically are just clarifications. It's work that's already owned. We're just giving more clarity to the scope. Pricing requests usually do result in added cost.
What I'm talking about, just because it's an ASI doesn't necessarily mean it's going to turn into an added cost, is what I was getting at.
So when the design team chooses to use the ASI, they feel that there's no added cost. So other things that we're looking at, we talked about Stair A. That's in Matt's schedule update. The protracted process getting through shop drawings. I think we had the original shop drawing plus 3 revisions, and then there was even a markup on the last iteration too. And then town green revisions, I know, Bill, you were out, I think earlier this week to look at that, and you issued a sketch to us yesterday. We've given direction to the civil engineer. So there's some things that are still in flux there. We're kind of working out the final details in the town green. And then Apparatus Bay, we had a couple of late things that happened, fire ratings that kind of held things up. So we had to hold back, or WT Rich had to hold back some of the installation of ductwork and so forth until that got resolved. But it's been resolved, and they're moving it forward, and it is a beehive in the Apparatus Bay right now. So I'll show you a picture in just a little bit of what it looks like. And then the Mel generator, which is really on its own, but the one thing that impacts us is bringing the gas line into the location of the generator. And that took a while to get to this point. We only got final drawings about a month ago, and then the price approved, and then the work underway. So it's that's been a lot to get to this point, but the trench is dug, the pipe has already been cut and ready to go. We had to make some adjustments to the trench. The civil engineer that's been hired by Meld came out and wanted some adjustments made, so they had to redig some of the trench. But backfill, they get the bedding and the pipe goes in tomorrow?
Correct.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then they'll backfill next week. So it will get there. But these are the things that keep all of us up at night on the project. These are the things that could impact schedules. So we're tracking them. But Matt's schedule update now is showing us, I don't have it here. It's basically 5 days.
It's 5 days.
5 days. We were showing 28 days in the prior update a month ago. So that's significant. But really that is working longer days, working Saturdays with key trades. Matt's very selective about who he brings in, and we pay the premium time for the overtime to make sure we're really moving the needle. And it's showing now. We're having that impact, which is great. So just a quick, to talk a little bit about expectations on the site. So you've seen from the road now, they have the fence, the scrim is off, so you can see into the site, and you can start to see all the loom. So the areas in green are all loomed and are going to get hydroseeded in next week?
Yes.
Yeah, so
for starting Friday.
Friday. All right, so it's very soon, within a week. All these areas are going to be hydro-seeded so that they'll be, the idea is we want to get everything to germinate this year, so in the spring it really pops. We know we don't have a ton of growing between now and first frost, but if you can get it in, get it germinating, it just means in the spring it comes up stronger.
Yep.
But this whole area in the front is going to be delayed until the spring, and this really has to do with the regrading of this area. We have a significant amount of retaining wall that we have to do around this detention area, so that's something that we're just not going to get it in time this year. We'll go as far as we can until the weather just doesn't allow us to do it anymore. But if we can continue to use like a dry laid stone like we did at the front, if you can see along Route 114, we can use that same methodology here. That means we can keep going until the frost really sets in. So this will be spring. We know that a couple meetings ago, I think August, we agreed to delay the paving, the finished paving. So this access road and then the parking areas here are going to be finished paved in the spring. So we really believe that the buildings will be delivered to you essentially on schedule, but some of this area here and the road will be spring. And when we say spring, it's going to be has to be warm enough for all this, so it's going to be late spring. And then the areas here in turquoise, that's going to be finish paved. So this is because of the secure area, the apparatus apron. This will all be done this year. And then the areas in purple have already been seeded and grass came in. This area established really well because it wasn't in the peak of the summer. I know that the design team and us and Matt are all we're not happy with any of this. So
The purple?
It went in on the hottest day of the year and like the driest part of the year, so it's very weeded up. The landscaper has come in and has sliced and overseeded it, and with fertilizer, they feel like it's going to come back, but That remains to be seen. We'll wait till the spring and we'll make that call. I mean, we're not accepting it by any means. We're not happy with it right now, but the landscaper is pretty convinced that they can get it to come back to be full grass. So just want to sort of put that out there, just to sort of set expectations of what you're going to be seeing out on site. You know, the landscaping plants and shrubs are all on site, and they're going to be going in any of these areas that are green.
There are some, you know, kind of this time of the year, there's selective plants that we won't be installing just because it's not the right time of the year to do it. So that will be spring work. But anything that can go in this year is going in.
Yeah. So you can see, this is from the webcam today. You can see the loom. They're prepping for the walkway that goes through the town green. So that's what they're working on right, you know, as of today they were working on that. So we still have in front of Town Hall sidewalks to go in. Sidewalks are, you know, being extended along the access drive towards Route 114. You can see in the roadway now they're working on the curb cut and sidewalk work too. So this is the same today. This is from the webcam showing the public safety building. You can see all of the loom is in and the prep for these sidewalks that are to go in. But they brought in, the concrete work is up to this point, but then, you know, so in the next couple of weeks, they're going to be doing all the concrete work out front. And then you'll see this hydroseeded and the plants going in the next 2 weeks as well. So a couple things to note too. This I took yesterday just to show you sort of what's going on. You know, everybody drives up and down Route 114, so you're familiar. So they're working on prepping for the sidewalk to go in front of the apparatus apron, doing the infill of the curb cut on the old opening for the farm, and then creating the new one. So that's ongoing right now. I wasn't at the last meeting, Frank, but you had mentioned that there was a light that was covered by a tree. Is this the one you were thinking that was covered? Is that the one?
It's
Coming the other way.
So when you're coming this way, yeah.
coming
So
this direction, it's the one on the inside.
on the inside here, this one actually faces the
No, I'm sorry,
station.
on the stanchion.
These trees.
Yeah.
Actually, when you're coming this way, these trees block.
This view. Okay, good. I wanted to put that up just so we could get clarity. I wasn't sure I understood what the issue was. Okay. So as you're coming around the corner, one of those lights. Okay. So we can talk to the traffic engineer whether they can make an adjustment. Okay. Or we trim the tree.
So I had communications with MassDOT
Yeah.
regarding that, and they said they hadn't accepted it yet, and that they were going to do some tree work. And
Oh, they were. Okay. We have a meeting on Friday with them at 10, so I'll bring it up as well. So I just wanted to make sure I knew what your concern was. Thank you.
For the sidewalk there, how long is it being worked on, or how long do we expect it will be diverted that way?
It's
Probably only a couple of weeks.
it should only be 2 to 3 weeks.
Yeah.
We
They
just
wanted- they
discovered
wanted- yeah, we wanted-
yesterday there's an issue with the grading, and so we're
Right.
trying to quickly resolve it as fast as we can.
Right. Ideally, milling or overlaying of 114 happens like before November 15th.
Yeah, so we have a moratorium after November 14th, we can't do that. So we have trenches in the roadway, and so Friday our meeting with Mass DOT is basically the before we cover over with the permanent patch. So that's at 10 a.m. I don't know if you're around, you want to come and join? You want?
I don't know if I can, but I'll.
Yeah,
if I can,
anyhow, so because we have the restriping of the road and the diversion, our goal is when we take down all of the diversion, we're doing the finished paving so that we basically go back to a clean pavement and put the new markings down. So we're trying to time the completion of the curb and the sidewalk work and the finished paving to all happen before November 15th. Ideally, we're doing it within 3 weeks, because we only have 4 weeks left. So
And where the curb, where it diverts there, and there's kind of the temporary kind of walking lane and things there, is there actually a ramp or anything from curb to roadway?
there is. Yep.
I was curious. I've seen kids, like little kids, riding their bikes not through there for whatever reason, where I think they'd normally be riding on the sidewalk, but I've seen them trying to make their way alongside the cones, and last week watched a couple almost get hit by a couple of trucks and things. So trying
Yeah,
to make
no,
sure that
that's-
there's nothing
yeah,
else that
it's
will.
part of the requirement.
Yeah, they have to have it.
Yeah, that's what I wasn't sure.
ADA accessible pedestrian channelization. That's why it took us so long to get out on the road, because DOT changed our permits several times about this. And then the last change was they wouldn't let us do the painting during regular hours. We had to do it off hours, but our permit didn't say we could work off hours. So then we had to request the amender permit to work off hours because they required it. So it's been a challenge. So anyhow, yes, there are ramps there. Cool. Just to quickly go, you can. This is a picture from today, just showing the apparatus bay. There's, all the activity going on. A lot of utilities going up in the ceiling, ductwork, and at the vehicle exhaust systems, as Matt was describing. This is the second floor day room, the fire department. You can see the finished lights are in and on. The appliances are in. The casework is in. Countertops are in. The floor is in. So it's pretty much done. They're just working on the whiteout of the ceilings, which is supposed to be next week. So literally, this space should be finished next week. Outside behind Town Hall, you have, the landscape shrubs are going in, the sidewalks are all in, the patio's in, and all the supports for the benches and tables and so forth are all in there. So that's pretty much, nearing completion. The only things we have left are the doors into the community room, which we're waiting on just because of they're really nice doors, and we don't want them to get damaged. So we're waiting for the last, until it's absolutely necessary to put them in. And then second floor, Town Hall. This is the lobby on the second floor with the meeting room beyond. And what we were just talking about, stair A, that opening there in the floor is where the open stair comes up from the first floor. So that's the materials are arriving tomorrow. And you can see the finished lights were put in yesterday. They're about to white out that ceiling, so it's things are really coming along.
And that's behind us, that's the meeting room, right?
Yeah, that's the the meeting room, hearing room at the very center back of the building. That's the it's like the select board hearing room, multi-purpose area. So budget update, nothing significant to report. This is just basically OPM, whatever we have remaining balance to complete our construction administration and closeout phase, which we're in. Similar for architecture, it's just the CA and closeout, and traffic engineer, which really the only scopes going right now for A&E. Other costs, we still are working through. We have not made the award yet on furniture. That will be something. We have a meeting tomorrow to hopefully finalize that, and we can pull the trigger on it. Good. We have a few others, scopes that haven't been bought out under balance to complete. The second column to the right, you can see this is all the things that really are the owners, vendors doing work towards the end of the project. So that's why we haven't spent the money here. And then our contingencies really I had one draw off of contingency, owner contingency in the last month. And it's just, we had some scopes approved for additional services a while back, and as the billing comes in, I just adjust that particular line item as those invoices are processed. So that's the only draw, 4,148 out of owner contingency in this month. Cash flow, we're doing better than we had projected. The last 2 months have been much lower than we had forecast. And you can see the bar at the very end is growing, and that's basically the contingencies that Matt has, I have, that we're really not projecting full usage. So I kind of push that to the end of the project in the cash flow. We have a couple of additional services proposals. First one, this has been on last month, LW Bills. We're working with Captain Duchesne on that. This is the town's fire alarm street circuits. So this is really nothing to do with the buildings themselves. It's more about the stations moving from one location in the town to another. We got to move the services over. So we thought we would be able to go direct to LW Bills, but because of the cost, we have to go out for proposals. So I was working with Alex today. He drafted it, but I am not entirely sure. I think we have to go out for request for bid, because I think it's too big of a scope.
Too big of a-
For us to do that. We're, almost 150,000. So we're just trying to finalize that right now.
There's no state contract for that? I'm surprised.
They won't let us do it over 50,000. You got to go out to bid. So it would have fallen under the state purchasing contract, but it's too much. And then, so anyhow, we're not quite there yet. Valley Communications, Alex has worked with Jackie very closely on, these are 3 additional costs. Let me put them up on the screen. There are additional rooms. We're trying to get recording capability, but not live broadcast. And so we have multipurpose room 107. The room can be divided west and east, so there's really 2 spaces. And then the classroom on the first floor of Town Hall, 2 spaces west and east. It's a dividable room. And then the breakout 210, which is just off at the hearing room. It's to give the town more options in the future to have meeting spaces that could be recorded. So, audio, video recording, and so forth. So I know this hasn't been finalized. I just put it up on the screen just to let you know. We've been, I know you're probably not ready to say.
I am.
You are.
As of an hour ago.
Fantastic.
So we would like to recommend to the building committee to go forward with this. Alex did a great job. He pushed back on some of the pricing.
Yeah.
I'm happy with the final number. I will say that something I'm already talking about with Justin and Sarah Wood, our finance director, is an additional appropriation of PEG capital money to the project at the upcoming spring annual town meeting, because this is more than we anticipated for the overall AV with PEG of the project.
Sure.
It will not meet the full cost of this additional proposal, but I do think this is a really worthwhile investment. As you all know, we really struggle with meeting space. We struggle even more so with meeting space that can be recorded. So this technology is, I think, a really critical investment, and we have other purposes for it too, with trainings and the Council on Aging. So I think, there's a cost benefit of doing it now, right up front. If not, then it's something we're gonna hold on to these proposals, and Paul and I are gonna, apply to town meeting for capital money to do this in the future, but we think there's a great opportunity to do it now if the committee agrees.
Yeah, so
What's the total?
it's about, cut it off.
Maybe
Great
start there?
question.
I think we maybe start there.
Let me see if I can. It's 107,000 is the revised. I don't
Do
know
all
why I
3
cut it
rooms.
off. Let's see if I can.
So 107 adds the 3 rooms, and then and how much are we thinking from PEG?
I don't have that number for you yet, I'm sorry. We've used we did quite a large transfer from PEG last year, so we don't want to overdraw from PEG's reserve so much that they don't have the appropriate balance for the next fiscal year.
Understood.
So I can get that to you via email tomorrow or Friday to the whole committee of what the transfer might be, but that's also, unfortunately, with the timing, we won't know what town meeting will do until town meeting does it in May.
Understood.
Oh, there it is. Okay, so it's.
But I think the 107 was down from,
Yeah, it is on there. I just I couldn't see it on the screen. So it's
I definitely can.
107,314.47. This is the alternate option. They reduced the original, the initial proposal was 124,000, so about 17,000 less. This is what you and Alex are working together on to get the price down. And really, it's different microphones. That's really the how the price came down.
yeah, so we wouldn't have the technology, not even just the physical microphones, but the array that the microphones feed into. So in these meeting rooms, you have the individual mics so that you have good quality and isolation of sound. And in these rooms, we would do a wider array of mics, which is not uncommon for when Paul's and Adam are going with the camera to other locales. So it'd be more like that than the meeting room setup, but it would still work, particularly for smaller committees.
Questions, guys?
And that's going to be sufficient for, are there any other spots in terms of would this be like a bare bones setup? And is there something where in the future that we're going to want additional cameras or additional things?
This is going to be, I wouldn't say it's bare bones. I would say it's like a very reasonable.
Just
It's not a
want to make sure
covered
there wasn't like
wagon,
an
but it's more of
option.
like a Honda and not a Cadillac.
So Jackie, when you started at 127 to get down to where you're at now, you cut something out, right?
The
Just the
microphone array.
microphones.
It's the
technology
type
that
of,
they feed into.
Yeah, right. So
I just wanted to make sure we weren't going to come back like a couple years later and be like, yeah, we missed this, a spot for a camera. Now we're going to go start cutting into things and trying to go run.
No,
more.
I think the intention is that we're doing things that won't ruin the aesthetic of the building by doing them now.
Yeah, and that's
professionally and not having to do them later.
Yep.
And so correct me, so how much did we get from the PEG originally? We had a good chunk, right? I remember
It's a
when
great
we were
question.
presenting this back in the day.
Please give me one moment and ask other questions and I'll get that number. Or like play the Jeopardy music, whatever you would like to.
Chief?
Brian, I have a question.
Sure.
Potentially permitting delays as far as Comcast, fiber / fire alarm, is that still?
It's still
Potential
still
issue.
real. Yeah, thank you for bringing that up. I meant to talk about that in the schedule update. Well, so you and I had a conversation about that. So just for the rest of the committee, give Jackie time here.
Thank you.
So we heard that Comcast was delayed by Mass DOT. They wouldn't let them string their wires down Route 114 to the building because it was right-of-way work and they needed a permit and it would take 3 to 4 months to obtain a permit, which is exactly what I was told whenever we started our curb cut permit that took 13 months.
Yeah, I was
So-
just gonna say, good luck with that.
yeah,
that 4
exactly.
months.
So already makes me nervous whenever we hear DOT is involved. And so
That
we've
might be
been-
quicker though, because they don't have to dig, so it eliminates a lot of the,
So it's really traffic management plan for while they're doing their stringing of wires and how they're going to divert traffic around, the work that they're doing. So I agree, it should be less, but I'm so
Should be.
cautious
Should
to
be.
say that.
But what if it's not?
And if it's not, we do have a plan B. Danvers IT has worked up a plan B because we think that may impact both Comcast, Verizon, and potentially extending the municipal fiber into the property.
okay.
So Danvers IT is prepared to use a 5G node on site, basically a Wi-Fi, a really powerful Wi-Fi that they could run the buildings from, and that's something that they could pull the trigger on pretty quickly and get us up and running. So they're prepared to do that if we had to. We might have to. I'm not sure where that node would go, if we'd have to put it on the tower or if they
And
would set
obviously,
up.
I'm assuming
the
there's a reliability concern for public safety, right? I mean, I don't know the node, and how that works, so I'm assuming that's something for them, right?
Did you?
I don't know any details of it. I wasn't actually in on that meeting. It was Alex and I think Jackie were in there. But that was sort of what they thought, and they thought it could do everything that a wired connection could do. They didn't see it as being in terms of the end user, they didn't see it as being a problem. And the capacity would be as much as we would need.
And in very late breaking news, fiber's coming to town. We've been given the notice to give Meld the notice that they're coming. So it sounds like that's going to be gearing up sooner than we thought it might.
This
That's
is
from
the
contract.
municipal fiber? Okay.
They've been coordinating with Alex.
Okay.
Sorry.
Yeah, I talked to Alex about it today and he didn't mention it, so.
Oh, he has been going back and forth with them about dates to
Yeah.
put everything together for Rich. So
Great.
that's this week news that they're going to be in town soon. Probably next week.
All right. Again, I get nervous if I hear Comcast has been interrupted. Why is Contract think they're not going to be interrupted the same?
Yeah.
It's the same thing, same type of wiring.
Same type of wire, right?
Yeah. So, I talked to Captain Duchesne, and he's like, well, if it's fire and it's emergency services, we can pull that trump card. So, I think he felt that they would have a better chance of getting the fiber in
Okay.
than Comcast or Verizon. So thank you, Chief, for bringing that up. It is definitely a concern. And there is a plan B at play, but ideally, I'd rather not use that.
And this isn't really like weather dependent, right? I mean, they could still do it in the winter, I'm pretty
could.
sure, but yeah, they
It's
do
all
that the
stringing
time. Yeah, it's
wires
just stringing
up on
wires so
poles.
they can jump up there, so
Yeah,
we get a
that's
little bit
right.
more time there than we would.
Because I guess, do we foresee a potential problem with LW bills as far as moving the fire alarm circuit?
Well, that's a different thing. The street circuits, is it? I don't.
Because that's a big problem if we can't relocate that stuff in a timely manner, you know? That's correct. So we need to, and I have no faith in MassDOT, you know, doing us any favors, so.
Yeah. I don't know enough about the street circuit scope to know, like, what do you have to string for wires? I mean, do you have to restring, or? I didn't realize you were sitting over there.
That's all right, no problem, right, as part of the fiber project that Contractor is doing, they're gonna bring our municipal fire alarm circuits down into the building. So contingent upon that being completed and we are able to execute on the LWB side, we'll be okay. The 5G solution doesn't help us on the fire alarm side, that won't be a tenable solution, so we'll have to kind of think outside the box on that. But I'm being optimistic,
Yep.
hopeful that we get some forward progress.
All right, okay, yeah, so I know Alex just sent you the RFP today, but, you know, I think we ought to have maybe a call just to talk it through, because I think we should strategize about how to go about doing it. And maybe we divide up the work so that it's, you know, it's under 50 for the technical stuff that LW Bills can do, and maybe we give the wire work to somebody else, and that, you know, that might be a way we get it done.
So, Brian, get under so if the total's 150, issue 3 separate 50s?
Yeah, I mean, you gotta be careful of
You gotta be
splitting,
careful with
but we
that.
would be, you know, if we could divide it up to like smarts and parts
Yeah.
type work to LW Bills, because that's really what they do, and then give somebody else the pulling the wires work, you know, then that's not, then you're staying within the keeping of the law, or the spirit of the law, rather. Yep. Okay, did I give you enough time?
Yeah, you did. We transferred 300,000 from PEG for the project originally.
All right. So we're looking about another, right,
Another 107.
yeah. All right, folks, what do we think? It's new to me, so first I'm hearing of it. Questions for Jackie and for the team?
So Jackie, at the 107, you feel that is where you need to be, and that's the fair price and cost, and you guys aren't cutting yourselves too short?
Yeah, Paul and I talked about it tonight, and Paul and Adam have been great at reviewing all the Valley proposals as they come in, because that is not a technical area I care to learn more about. But I do think it's going to give us workability in spaces, and I think, you know, the star spaces that we've outfitted with Valley are the hearing room that most of the night meetings will be occurring in, and then the public safety training room. So when they are having either a larger night meeting in the evenings, or if the police and fire departments want to do trainings, they've got all of the important capabilities. They've got basically the state-of-the-art rooms in those two spaces as the high-impact users. This just gives us more flexibility with COA programming, and for boards and committees that traditionally have not been able to get accessible meeting space that allows them to record. So that's,
Yeah. And
It's
I
not-
may have misspoke. I mean, you've brought this up before, but the first time I'm seeing the price is now. And to
No,
be
and
honest with you, I expected it probably to be about half of it. That's from my perspective.
I think some of it's just the equipment.
It is what it is, right?
goes
Yeah,
up.
yeah. So I mean, from my
But it's a
perspective,
high
I'm only
price
seeing it as
point.
like a $50,000 extra
I don't
ask
disagree.
from what we were talking about before.
And are these systems for the additional rooms going to be, do they require like Paul and Adam to actually go run things, or is it going to be, you know, the chair pushes the button and it does it? Like, do we have the staff to support recording in those
So
additional?
these don't go live, so presumably a staff person, not like a committee member, could do that. None of these rooms would have live broadcast, only the
Sure.
public safety training room and the hearing room would have the
I'm also
live.
just thinking like, you know, if we need to have staff to do this, then it doesn't make sense anyway, because they'd be busy in the hearing room instead
And
of.
there's very few boards and committees that meet without staff,
Okay.
having
I mean, does
spent a lot of time with a lot of them.
does this have, so does it have like the little center piece too that you can kind of log in for the meetings and stuff too? Because I mean, that usually is done.
Yeah,
by-
that's part of the
Yeah, so,
Valley
I mean,
package, is all of like the,
Yeah.
you
I
know,
would think a committee member could do that. I mean, we do it, that's how I do it in the other town. So
Yeah.
we have committee members do.
the goal is that it's gonna be set up that you can basically go into any conference room and plug and play.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean.
That's why I just wanted to make sure they didn't
No,
require
I'm
staff
just,
that
I'm
we
just
don't
saying
have.
that, yeah, for sure. But I mean,
Sure,
Yeah,
but there's a
we
PhD,
we
we don't
have
have
committee
enough.
members do that part, as long as that little computer piece is part of it.
Yeah, and I can't remember, is it the Barco? Is that the name of the technology? I'm looking at the Barco. That will be part of that.
Yeah, it's like the standard, right?
Yeah.
So Jackie, at the end of the day, you're looking for the board to assess that that sum of $107,314.47 as an additional cost and approve that this evening? Is that what you're looking for?
Yeah, we're looking for your recommendation to approve so that we can bring it to the select board to
All right,
finalize the.
so a recommendation is what you're looking for?
Yes,
Okay.
please.
Bill, I'd like to make a motion for
To recommend.
for recommendation of the appropriation of an additional $107,314.47. That number is correct, Brian?
Yes.
That's correct.
All right.
Second.
For additional AV equipment and to get them what they need.
Okay.
Second.
I got a second from Kyle. All in favor?
Aye.
And do we need an additional motion for the additional services for the LW bills?
We're not there yet.
Not there yet.
Yep. Yep.
Okay.
Next up, we have Context Architecture has submitted an amendment 23 to us for your review. I can forward it to you. I mean, would you care to present it? I mean, it's pretty detailed breakdown, but Andrew, I know you prepared you provided a memo to us. It's very very well organized. So I put the information here.
Yeah, so with the FF&E package, we've sort of gone above and beyond what our estimate of the scope was going to cover for a number of reasons, and so we've outlined all of those here and told you how much we've spent on those. So we had some additional site visits to the site to meet with individual users to go over furniture for our second time. We had some additional meetings to go over individual pieces of furniture. Then there were some revisions which required us and/or our consultants to make drawing amendments that needed to be issued to WT Rich. We had some additional showroom visits when we were preparing to provide 3 equals. We've gone through a number of additional pricing exercises to meet a different price point a lower price point than what was originally approved by this committee. We've gone through another exercise of pricing chairs, desks, and then of course with any of the revisions that were required, we had to review all the PCOs that WT Rich had to issue for that work.
In their original,
So we have a $39,000 increase in cost for you to figure out furniture for us, and what do we have for the savings in the furniture, I guess is the next
so
question.
the budget for FF&E is like 1.6 million, and I think your furniture package.
Our last package, which included some chairs, which are now being sort of sidelined for future discussion, was just over $600,000.
Okay, so I like that.
So
That seems to be a good cost.
So there's been additional effort to try and, get the price even lower, even though they came in well below. I mean, the FF&E number of 1.6 is for other things as well.
Yeah.
But I think the furniture target number, I forget exactly, number
It was like
850 or
$1
something like that,
right?
was what we were targeting. It came in at 600, and then, or a little higher, and you were even working to get it down lower. And so this effort is sort of above and beyond, like we met budget, we were able to come up with the right furniture package and then found some additional savings, but required effort here.
So you've dissected and gone through, instead of us, I mean, we're seeing lump sum numbers for those
Yeah.
petition. So you've gone through and dissected, and you think the costs are fair?
We had
The man hours?
I do think it's fair. We had a call with Jeff Shaw, the principal, Chris and Andrew to review this. And Andrew, you did a very nice job even after our call to put it in a memo and summarize everything. So I've reviewed this. I'm comfortable with it. It seems fair. I mean, for the level of effort, it's very well.
Andrew, I'm not trying to
broken
take
down.
anything away from you, I just have to ask that question.
That's fair.
Got it.
That's absolutely fair.
Yep.
Someone was going to ask it.
So I would support this request.
I mean, overall, the entire number's still going to be below, so I mean, I think that's the take home here, right?
Correct. Yep.
Does anybody want to make a motion to approve additional services in the amount of $39,000 for Context Architecture?
So moved, I said, right? All right, I'd like to make a motion to approve the sum of $39,000 even for additional architecture and engineering services provided from PCA 360. I mean, no, from Context Architecture.
I get a second for that.
Second.
All right, I have a second from Paul. Everybody, all in favor?
Aye.
All right, that moves.
Thanks. So just give you, this is our potential change order log review. These are still in progress. So yellow are items that are in review with the design team, Context, and their sub-consultants. So we, working, the list is, usually it's 2 pages long, so we've done a really good job of whittling down the list, which is good. The ones in blue are ones that we finalized and we've sent to the town. I think Justin has some of these in his inbox. I reached out to him today on that.
Yep, I saw that.
And Bill, I know you sent a bunch yesterday that we received. So
so
this
that should
list
probably
was
be on the yellow side.
updated about 2 hours ago or 3 hours ago, so this is pretty current.
Yep.
And then the ones here at the bottom, WT Rich is working on getting us additional information or so forth. So these are some of the things that are in progress. So I can pick out one that stands out to me that is Mel generator pad 207, 181,000 is our biggest one right now. And the pad, when we originally came to you and presented this Mel generator, it was a 6-inch pad with like welded wire mesh in it.
Makes sense.
Now it's a 2-foot thick pad with a matte foundation. I mean, it's got a ton of steel in it. It's huge. And then it has a 3-foot depth base course material, like structural fill, to go under it. So it's super expensive. So we're working through that right now, trying to get our heads around this number. It's huge.
Yeah,
So we're not there yet, but it's something we're working on. But that's something once we finalize the number, we'll come back to you. But we also have to let Mel know, because this is part of the agreement with them to cover the costs.
That sounds.
So we're putting
the
it in, and
foundation.
we're paying for it, but then they're gonna reimburse the town, so we gotta have the conversation. Because originally, I think the slab was like a $30,000 slab, and now we're, with the credit of the $30,000 slab, we're at 181,000, or 181, yeah.
Yeah, it might be a little over-designed.
Might be a little over-designed.
Looks that way to me.
So then after that, relatively speaking, these are all relatively small credits, some additions, nothing too significant. We had a call today on the chain link fence gate hardware. This is the man gate to go from the secure area to the non-secure area. It's right by the communication tower. They had presented to us, the fence company, a change order for a different style gate that was $18,000. So we told them that they needed to do better and come up with we had something in the contract drawings in the base scope, so we're told them to go back to the original thing. So they're working on that right now. So that might turn into maybe a couple $1,000s just on like hinge and maybe closer changes, but nothing significant. So we're working on that. So these are some of the things that are all in the last 2 weeks that we're working on. So anyhow, these at some point will come into a change order, but not after. It's been through a pretty lengthy process with the team. So we do have a change order 11, which I'll present to you in just a moment, and we'll go through each of the ones that have actually become change orders. But before then, I have construction requisition for payment number 16 for $2.1 million. So it's ready to go. So $2,195,096. Our cash flow for the month, it's pretty much where we thought we would be. I had projected about 2.5 million. So, so they're right where it needs to be. The backup behind this is about 60 pages long. Andrew, Chris, and I have been through it. Matt's been through it. So we're ready to present it to you, and it's ready for payment. So I need a motion for recommendation to approve.
Bill, I'd like to make a motion to approve contractor's requisition number 16 in the amount of $2,195,096.
Can I get a second?
Second.
Second from Kyle. All in favor?
Aye.
Change order 11 we have before us is for $128,233. I'll go through the detail of what's in it right now just to give you an update. Anything in yellow is a change order, which is an increase to the GMP contract. Green is contingency draws. Typically, contingency draws are, we have guaranteed maximum price, so any scope gaps or buyout gaps or coordination between trades are things that Matt covers under his contract. So that's the green items. The blue is allowance draw. So I'll take the easy one first. The first one is the blue one. That was just, we had a hardware allowance when we were going through the buyout of the GMP. We knew we were going to have some coordination amongst, once we got into the keying and we had the meetings with the departments. I think we're on our third keying meeting now. So this one was a hardware change at public safety door. This is the door to the training deck. We have card access on both sides of it now. Because people can come and go through that door, we need to keep it secure, so we put card readers on both sides. And this is the change in hardware to that door. I'll pick up the green ones next. So these are just contingency draws. Public safety grease interceptor. These are changes that we made to, we ended up deleting it, but we ended up creating a new room. So now you get an extra storage room that you didn't have before, because originally we were going to put the grease interceptor into its own room because of just the way it needed to be serviced. We ended up determining with working with Justin that it really wasn't necessary to have a grease interceptor for the kitchen and the day room. So we took it out. So this cost here is really to get you another room, storage room with lights and door and so forth. That's the $18,000. So you can never have enough storage, right? And then this one here added fire caulking. This is a building inspector required, instead of acoustic sealant or smoke sealants, we had to go with fire sealant. So it's an upgrade to the building throughout both buildings. This was a change. And then
Brian, wouldn't fire stopping or fire sealant been already included within the contract price at the tops of fire rated partitions?
So this is not at fire rated partitions.
Penetrations?
It's at non-rated.
Oh, gotcha.
And so the code requires to be smoke sealed. But again, the building inspector it's his prerogative. He wanted to see it as a fire seal.
Okay.
Mostly penetrations into the attic space. He
Gotcha.
wanted that to be sealed off.
Roger that. All right.
Yeah, I know, like, when we went through the original design, like, you didn't need to put the drywall underneath the trusses, but you did it for, just so you don't have all the stuff falling on the grid, the ceiling tiles below. But once that barrier was put in, then the desire was to put the fire caulking on it. So, again, that's the prerogative of the building inspector to do that. Access hatch, this is just a change in how the access hatches were created. There was a scope in the original drawings, but once we got into the specifics, we had to make some changes. So there was an allowance draw or a contingency draw. Tile, there's in the locker room, we had a wall that didn't have tile shown, should have had tile shown, so it was covered by Matt as a scope gap. And then we had stainless steel cabinet specifications. This is at the booking area, I believe. It was supposed to be in casework, but we decided that it was better to have it built as all stainless steel for durability. So we changed that there, changed the specification, but we used contingency for it. Sealed concrete scope change. Honestly, I forget exactly where that was.
That was like a scope gap with sealing the concrete.
These
That's
are like
throughout. So
throughout.
like
Any exposed floors
Correct.
needed. So you didn't buy in original buyout. You didn't assign that to anybody. You had to then go buy it out. So that was a contingency draw. Thanks, Matt. And then sprinkler coverage in the loft. This is off the apparatus bay. We had to make some changes. Sprinkler coverage, and then at the door to the training deck at the second floor, there was a recessed area, and that particular scope was overlooked, and so that's another scope gap. It needed to be sided, there needed to be a ceiling, but it wasn't captured in the original buyout. So those are some of our contingency draws and change orders. We had way back long ago, we got approval from you to add irrigation to Town Green and a few other areas. But we had allowances within that original proposal presentation to you. We now have brought on the irrigation company. They gave us what we needed to size pumps and pipes and whatnot, so then we were able to eliminate those allowances and get to real numbers. So it did add some scope to that, so another 30,000 was added there. We added some additional closed circuit TVs in the public safety building. I think this is just one here. Final paving, building committee agreed to push that to spring, so there was a change for that. Some changes to the tile patterns that was done through the finishes meetings. That was a change. There was some sink modifications and some casework. And elevator power sizing, this is really just once you get the actual shop drawings and finalized, we had to make some changes there. So pretty minor. We didn't have space where the clean agent system was called for in the drawings. We had to move it to a different location, so there was additional piping there. We had a credit for reducing the number of flagpoles. Thank you, Paul. Originally we had 3, and you acknowledged that really 2 was better to do state and the American flag rather than have 3. So that was a $9,000 credit. And then revisions to the training deck parapet where that hole is. We had to make some changes to the to how that came together. I think it was the finish on the backside. So those are the changes that we've had in the last month that all roll up into that change order. So really the 2 that are significant are the finish paving in spring and the irrigation, which really get you almost to the full number. And after that, it's just minor ones. So $128,223 is change order 11, which we need your recommendation to approve.
Brian, it is 223 or 233?
223.
223.
Take a motion.
Gentlemen, have any other questions?
Any questions? Go ahead.
No, just for clarification, to delay the paving until the spring, that's an additional $72,000?
Yep, so that's for you folks just to carry everything, right, to be able to do the work in the...
Well, we have to do some temporary work to get us occupancy. So temporary ramping,
Castings,
asphalt,
castings,
all the castings in the road need to be adjusted. Temporary line striping, then the premium time for the sub coming back to do the work
And yeah,
on a Saturday.
so then you're remobilizing in the spring to put the final coat down, so you're not doing the final coat now and it gets damaged through the rest of the construction
Right.
project.
And we look to
Price
see...
this using the town's consortium pricing too, and
Right.
came pretty close to the number. And
Yeah, it's
so
a good number.
At a certain point, it didn't make sense to have the town do it, but just keep it with the same, so the warranty and, everything stayed with WT Rich and their subs. Good question.
No, thank you.
Yep.
Bill, I'd like to make a motion to approve change order number 11 in the sum of $128,223.
You have a second?
I'll second it.
All right, second from Frank. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, change order 11 is done.
Thanks.
Just confirm that is indeed, I had it as 223 also.
Yes, that is correct.
I mean, 233.
No, 23.
Okay.
I might have said it wrong in the beginning, yeah.
Just
I was reading from the screen when I confirmed to Nick.
Yeah.
Thank you. So the last item I have for you is just, we had an allowance in GMP for reconstructing the Fieldstone walls. And so they completed about 90 feet of Fieldstone wall. This is at the northeast corner of the site. You can see Wennerberg Road just in the corner here.
Yep.
So this is at the very end, and then the apparatus apron is right to the right of this photo here.
Yep.
So, and this is all stone that came from the site, and so the landscaper, I think, did a really nice job with it, but we've used up our allowance. And we still have about as much to go.
Yeah, fairly
And
much.
so
Yep.
the question
What was
is,
the allowance?
can we keep going? And it's sort of the question to you. We have contingency.
You must have put together, formulate some rough estimated projected cost to finish it. What are your thoughts?
Well, the landscaper initially told us they thought 30,000 would get almost all the way there. And so it was a lot more work than we thought. And they had 2 machines and 3 guys going for quite a while to build this. But honestly, 30,000 for 90 feet of that wall.
Yeah, that's a really good price, so.
Not a bad price.
So I take it he's holding that number, or whatever he's doing?
Yeah, so we'll basically, if you can give us the approval to keep going, we'll finish the rest.
So does that include the changes at the whatchamacallit? The
Detention
basin?
basin, no.
Okay, so that'll be an additional one that will
Yes.
come down the road, but
Yeah.
we're thinking about the same number ideally, a little bit bigger because it's deeper, right?
Yeah, a little bit more, yeah.
I mean, I think it looks awesome.
My question is, that top coursing, did they adhere any of that? Is like all dry laid?
All dry laid.
So if any kids or anybody decides that they want to climb over it or hop around on it or something, the stones could come tumbling out.
Yeah, I mean, they're all chinked in pretty good, but
There's always a
they're
chink.
loose.
They got the loose stone inside, and they get
Would
that
it be
all-
worth looking at maybe doing some kind of just, I know the rest of it's dry laid, but to do something on the top, whether it's some cementitious product at the joints or something to try to tie the top together, just for safety, that's all. I mean, unless we post a ton of signs around saying, please no climbing, or,
I mean, there's walls up and down Route 114, and none of them are more
yeah,
than
but
together.
town common in the front, we got little kids running around.
I've done projects like this in the other town I worked in, and
And?
no problems, no problems. It was a dry stone wall, just like this, same details, same stuff.
All right.
So, I mean,
Minor
it doesn't mean that the kids here aren't different, but I mean, you definitely highlighted to them all right now, so now they know what to do.
Well, that's actually kind of a trick question. 'cause
Yeah,
they're
I'm not
all
falling into
working,
that, Bill.
playing on their computers.
Yeah, that's a good point, right?
Or maybe
You're
outside
assuming that
anymore.
they're actually getting off the computers.
But it's, we'd like to keep going because honestly, I think they did a really great job with the aesthetic of it. I think it's really nice for the property.
Yep.
And we do have, let's see, yeah, we have contingency that, if it's okay with you, we'd like to keep going.
So they did 90 feet, they need to do like another 90 feet? Is that just
Yeah, it's actually a little bit more than 90 feet.
Right.
But what happens is it's like a segment of wall opening for a walkway, a segment of wall opening for a walkway, access drive, another stretch of wall. Like it's sort of pieced, but it will thread the whole thing together. And then when we do the detention basin
It's gonna-
in the same stone,
Yeah.
it really will start to tie the whole thing together along.
Yep.
It'll look really nice.
Has the original wall been excavated down, more compacted gravel or sub-base
Yeah,
down? or we just rebuild
they
it?
put base course material below that, so they excavated out and they compacted in. There's about a foot of pressure run underneath this.
Yeah, and they bury the first course and stuff too, so that shouldn't be going anywhere.
No, we found plenty, thank you.
That's good.
Okay, do you want to vote on that, or should we just plow on ahead and present the PCO?
So you're looking at approximately another 30 to 40,000 to complete.
Probably 40.
And then we'll have another piece as well, I think.
For the green.
For the
And
rain
the
garden.
majority of all these costs are coming out of contingencies?
Yes.
All right.
I would make a motion then to request that they continue to finish the project, the wall.
I'm in agreement. Do we get a second on that?
I'll second that.
All right, got a second from Nick. All in favor?
Aye.
Plow forward.
Thanks.
All right.
All right.
Yeah, that's
It
good.
took
Good.
too long, but
We're making progress, right? That's how it's supposed to work. Contacts, anything new to add to this long conversation that Brian stole all of your thunder on?
Covered all the fun
Sorry.
stuff.
Worst problems.
Yeah, right. The newest thing is, we're, as Brian mentioned earlier, we're meeting tomorrow to go over finishes for furniture, which is an exciting last step in getting that package finalized and ready to order very beginning of November, so it can be delivered the beginning of February.
Beautiful.
It's the biggest new item. So.
Jack, if you could thank Justin from me for getting that furniture number down, as I requested very early in this process, I would appreciate that. Or he can watch this and see the same thing. But I don't expect him to watch this meeting.
It'll feel differently when we're all sitting on stools, like bare wooden stools in all these new rooms, right?
Not on my watch, are we, Kyle?
No.
You're not bringing over the old chairs from the old town hall?
The same-
I'm only
same
kidding.
ones that
We've
are
been-
broken? No.
Yeah, I'm joking.
No broken furniture.
The broken furniture?
No,
No broken
it's-
furniture.
No
will
broken
be
furniture
loaded.
coming with it. All right. All right, other topics that are not anticipated, folks? Anything to add?
Well-
I see a chief raising his hand.
Yes, I know at the last meeting, Nick was not here, we discussed that concrete panel issue, and we wanted Nick here.
Oh, yes.
So,
Pray tell, what are we dealing with?
well,
So the concrete panel, remind me again? Where are we?
concrete panel
The
that's the
lettering.
different shade.
The precast.
Oh, the difference is the precast
Precast.
for the,
Yeah.
right, and so the proposal was kind of a overlay or thin, and that was my reaction?
It's called a slurry.
It's
Yeah, it's a
yeah,
slurry that goes on top, and,
All right, break it down for me. What are you dealing with?
yeah.
So, on the town hall building, on the east elevation where it says Middleton Town Hall, we have 5 or 6 panels that are varying shades of the selected color.
What the precast to say?
Uh,
And why hasn't he replaced the panels with?
Just remember, you're on cable, so you can't.
right.
Yeah.
All right.
No
Can't use the
colorful
expletives.
We were asked to sort of wait, let it weather a little bit, basically. It's been a few months. It's not really changed, so we were looking for solutions.
I mean,
One
I
of the
took a look at it on Friday. I mean, it doesn't look awesome, so.
Yeah, I'm not okay with doing a slurry coat or even a mineral stain or anything like that. If it doesn't, if it looks really off, let's start replacing panels. In my opinion, this is the front focus. I don't want to start rubbing stuff on it, different tricks. No, that's not what we're paying for. I want it to look immaculate, in my opinion.
Yeah.
I think that's kind of where we were, but
Yeah.
clearly this is your
You wanna-
area.
Yeah, we
Yeah, no.
I was
appreciated
just
your.
hoping you were going to say that. That sounded great.
Replace panels.
Okay.
So you ought to put your eyes on it too, Nick.
Yeah,
Just-
I would take a look to see if you.
All right,
you know,
so right
see-
now I'm taking it out by the end of this week. I'll put my eyeballs on
Yeah,
it.
so the places where it's most obvious are on Town Hall on the east elevation,
Yeah.
and then also on the west side where it says Middleton Fire.
All right. You want me to give you the heads up where I'm coming down? Let's say Friday morning, 10 o'clock?
Well,
Yeah,
they're-
that's fine.
I think
cool.
you're already going to be in a meeting.
Friday at 10 will be with MassDOT.
We'll be at MassDOT, so that
You want
won't
to do it earlier?
We can do it before that.
Want to be 8 a.m., 7 a.m.?
Yeah, 8's good.
All right, cool. I'll see you at 8.
Sounds good.
All right.
Yeah.
Thank you, Nick.
You got it.
And then,
Then we'll make the determination from there, but more than likely, we're going to end up replacing panels.
and I know a while back we had sent out emails about the plaques. What's the status of that?
The dedication plaques?
Yes.
The final version has been sent to Justin, and he was to circulate it for final comments.
Oh, there's a final version?
There is, yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know if I saw the final.
I don't know that it was like less than a week ago, so I don't think we've sent it out yet.
Oh, okay.
No, I don't think you have.
Would you like to see it?
Well, I think we should.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not a bad idea.
Yeah. That's
Yeah, let me follow up with Justin. I don't know why he didn't send it out, but we'll get it out.
Okay.
I think it was feedback from the select board on names.
Yeah,
and
so the
he was holding it because there was the discussion of naming the buildings and
Oh,
like-
that whole discussion.
So I think
Yeah.
that, like, %, or and, or
They go
whatever.
through and
Yeah,
do
we
it, and they
updated
did
it
a
with all
survey.
of
You go through a
that
survey
and
for that, right?
reissued
Or
it to
something?
Justin.
And then that was reissued to him, and
Yeah.
so I think it was literally just waiting on select board to give the final blessing.
I don't know. There was something else that I don't remember right off the top of my head, because I have it in front of my eyes right now. But we'll get it distributed tomorrow.
Cool.
Okay.
Thank you for the reminder.
Yeah, and I think that WT Rich needed that by November 3rd.
So we'll just expedite it. We can expedite it all this week, right, folks?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
This week, next week, we'll make sure you get it.
And sorry to
Thank you.
monopolize this, but.
No, hey, this is what we're
No,
this is what we have the item for.
You know, I guess it's upsetting that we even had to talk about a Plan B for critical public safety infrastructure with Comcast and all that, but with that Plan B, there obviously is an additional cost to it now?
Don't know, I didn't actually get that far with Danvers.
Okay.
They just came up with a plan. We don't know what that
Right.
value of it is.
I mean, it's bad enough that we even have to consider a Plan B. And then on top of it, it's gonna cost us more money, potentially.
Yeah. Yeah.
Unacceptable,
Yeah,
but-
It is, yeah,
but-
unfortunately, we're.
And we have reached
situation.
we've reached out to our Comcast government rep as well, Frank, because they had given us guidance of when to submit everything for all the extensions, and we followed the guidance that they gave us, and then they have been difficult ever since. I would also offer that Verizon hasn't been much better,
That's par for the course for them.
but we're continuing to stay on it, and thankfully, a lot of what Danvers does for us, they do as part of our IT service contract. So
No,
when
we
we
were
get
lucky
those
in that respect.
costs,
But, you know,
it's a
this,
point well taken.
you know, this isn't a sports bar. This is, you know, critical public safety infrastructure, and it's upsetting and it's baffling to me. But I guess that's par for the course today, especially with some of the state agencies we have to deal with. And then I know the public safety chiefs are here, and I think maybe you want to have a little discussion about the generator.
Yeah, first off, I'd like to discuss the traffic hawk signal. I don't know if anyone saw the recent news story on
I did see
Channel
the
4
recent
Yeah.
story, oh, yeah.
about that particular traffic signal with increased confusion amongst drivers.
Yeah.
And that was one of the reasons why, way back when, we pled our case with MassDOT concerning the traditional traffic light versus the traffic hawk signal. And lo and behold, there's a study that was done that shows increased confusion amongst drivers. So, you know, I just wanted to put that out there. Not that it's probably not going to do any good, but, you know, I think it's something that we have to watch. If moving down the road, we see accidents and, you know, increased confusion with that signal, I think, you know, it's something that we should continue to
inevitable.
complain about, because, you know, I know that we all fought hard for the traditional traffic light to no avail, so.
Do you know where that study was?
You
or was
asked
it a
me
news
after.
Mass
report?
Amherst, the transportation center.
Oh,
Oh, yeah. So that should be something that should be some, at least something to have a dialogue on.
And if you want, I can forward it to you, Brian.
yeah, please.
Yeah. And then next topic is the generators. So, as you know, we downsized the emergency generators, which currently only services life safety amongst both buildings, which is going to cause us to have more reliance on the MEL generator.
Yep.
Couple of concerns with that. So we're going to move into the building, and it's my understanding that there's a delay in using the MEL generator because of, you know, availability of
Okay.
equipment or whatever. So there's going to be a period of time where we're going to be operational, and we're going to have no generator to operate doors, lights, computers,
No, I
the
understand.
climate vent system. So that's
What about a contract for or some, maybe even like a temp generator, so we have that set? I mean, I'm assuming that Meld would probably agree to that, right? Considering it's the delays on that
Yeah.
part of the project.
So that's concern number one. Concern number two is, and I know Brian and I spoke about this, the way the system is currently configured, as far as the MELD generator, we are going to have to rely on MELD to send someone on site to manually turn on that generator to power the facility, the campus.
how's that?
So the
So how does
concern
that
that I
work?
have is if it's 15 minutes, 20 minutes, an hour, 2 hours, whatever, it's unacceptable in our eyes to be reliant upon somebody to show up on scene, as great as MELD is, to rely on somebody to show up on scene to give us access to lights, doors, climate vent system, computers, et cetera, et cetera. That needs to be an automatic process, because there needs to be a seamless transition from when we lose power to being on generator. We can't rely on MELD, because it's my understanding that really, at this particular point, the only option we have is to rely on that MELD generator to power up that complex. And it needs to be a seamless transition. We can't be relying upon people to switch whatever switches need to be switched.
So Brian, with that being said, have we looked into any of that or on our end for automation of that process, or would that be on Mel?
All this is on the primary side, so it's nothing to do with our design. So we only learned of this recently, that it's not an automatic thing, that it requires a manual intervention, which is
I mean, is there
new
a way to make it
information.
automatic?
I don't know. We hadn't gotten that
We
far.
maybe coordinate a meeting, I think, I'd definitely want to sit on that.
So we had our meeting at 5 o'clock, and they're working on the automation of that.
Okay, oh, they are.
So,
Oh, good, good. So it sounds like that's working.
Yeah.
Good news.
However, you have to understand,
Yeah.
a generator of that size,
Yes.
it's gonna take a few minutes for it to come on,
Oh, of course.
at least, even with it automated.
Yep.
Because they don't wanna, not to get too technical with it, but, you're the experts, you guys know, that if it was a squirrel that caused the outage, and you had the reclosers and, the secondary method of power came in, so you had like a few second outage, this thing isn't gonna kick on. It's gonna, it's gonna have to go a number of seconds before it determines that, yeah, this is a legitimate long-term outage, and it's gonna come on. And that thing's gonna fire up, and it's gonna take a few minutes.
Are you talking like 5, 10?
Well, that's what they're working on now. I mean, when they're talking with the engineer, they want to see what that time frame would be, based upon, the technology of automating that generator. So,
I mean, I think that has to work for you folks. I mean, you should
However-
definitely be part of this conversation, right?
Yes.
Yeah, and I think the transition should be as short as possible, for obvious reasons.
Chief,
But-
I do recall in some of our documentation that we assented to an additional time lag during some of the initial conversations that we were okay with. I don't recall the exact duration, but the duration proposed by Mel initially was okay by us.
okay.
Learning that this is not automatic will certainly change things in the past 72 hours or so. So the UPS that's designed for the building, according to the riser diagram, is an 8-minute load at full load. So we have to be at least 50% less than that to give ourselves some buffer room.
Oh, okay.
Startup time. I think that would be, if we could at least get to 4 minutes is my request. If we have to go to 5, to be thoughtful of the types of current switching that we're dealing with. I think we can work with that, but really shouldn't be.
As long as you're okay. Understanding that, the process for automation, that's ongoing currently.
Of course.
And, the manager, of course, can't give a time frame right now because they're still developing it. So,
Completely understand.
once that's, and I'm sure you folks will be meeting with them, with the manager, and
Yeah,
a
and
better understanding of what that would be.
But I think that, another problem, like what I mentioned previously, was that when we move in March 30th, let's say, and the Mel generator is not operational until September 1st, or whatever date, what are we gonna do
I'm
with
not
that?
hearing that. So is that something that's the first I'm hearing of September?
I just threw that
I'm
date
just-
out.
if
Yeah,
that's
I mean,
the
it could be
thing.
30 days, it could be 3 days, I don't know, but
Okay.
it's my understanding there's gonna
We've heard a
be.
date yet of when the generator is going to be expected to be online. So we don't
It's
know.
arriving in May.
May, okay.
It's arriving.
Right. And then it's going to be installed and configured, yeah.
So is there going to be some type of gap, obviously, for you folks then, in that case? I mean, there's to have
So
something,
the
right?
building is designed to have a roll-up generator that can be plugged in. So
Right.
there's a remote port that can be used. And, so we could have a generator on standby that's, trailer mounted that could be available during this period of time, however many months, that could kick in a power outage.
Does
So
that
there
seem like-
is a solution there, but there's a cost.
Yeah,
It's
100%.
it's about a 550 kW generator, and I think we said between $25,000 and $30,000 a month to rent.
Yeah.
Say it again?
I don't see the project covering that cost, I can tell you
$30,000 a
that.
month to rent a generator of that size.
So for that amount of money, we'd have a guarantee that they'd have power, they'd have doors that go up and down, they'd have radios, they'd have computers.
Yeah.
That's a good investment.
Do we have
I
any?
don't know if this project's paying for that, though. I mean, this is all,
Right.
right? I mean, we'd have to have a long conversation on that, because
Well, I think, hindsight being 20/20, and the goal here is not to point any fingers.
No,
'cause
I'm not
that's
pointing fingers.
gonna-
I'm not doing that.
No, but I'm just saying, we opted to downsize the generators,
I'm aware.
and,
Had a huge savings.
Yeah, no, there's a savings, no doubt.
Right.
At the end of the day, Brian, if some of the contingencies that we haven't used, can we track some of those that we know for a fact we're not going to be using it, and then we can start taking some of that and put it
We
towards
actually
that?
had one for a generator because we weren't sure we were going to have transformers at this point. So we
Right.
thought we would be running the buildings off of generator. So we already had
And to
money.
be fair, the reason that that's here is because of Mel. So, right, I mean, that's half the reason that you have your transformers and all that's going to be here on time, right? So,
Yeah,
I mean,
right.
so, I mean, we got to look at both sides.
Correct.
I mean, the good news is we have a great service with Melt, and,
Of course.
very few power outages, but I don't want to say that it'll never happen, and then a month into our stay, we lose
You gotta
power
have
for-
coverage, you can't have a gap.
And there's been ebb and flow the whole time.
Yeah, but just so you know, that plug-in, correct? That 550 kV generator is 100% coverage based upon, like, the energy study of whatever in the complex. So that will cover 100%.
That's right.
Okay. Because I don't want you guys tussling with someone in one of the cells and having the lights go out, and you're gonna be in the,
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah, that's a no-brainer.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, so that's just looking at what we had originally for the generator that covered the whole building. That's why I quoted that 550. That's what we had.
So do you think it'd be beneficial to bring Mike Ludia from Mel?
Yeah, I think we ought to have that conversation, but I know that, they're trying to, we told them our concerns, and I think they're working to resolve them.
Yes.
So I
So
don't know
maybe
that they're
we-
ready yet.
Yeah, so maybe we just look at next meeting, hopefully if we can resolve that, we can get a little update on all that.
Yeah, we
That
can
sounds
do
good,
that.
right? And see where we're at and
We'll have a better
make
plan.
decisions as we have to go. Financial wise, though, I would like to kind of just see overall, and to kind of see our typical spend, but then kind of where we are with because we had a bunch of grants and other stuff. I'm just kind of
We
curious.
spend the grants down
Okay, so the
first.
grants have been spent down first, but we also received some additional funds beyond some of the grants that we had, I think. So there might be some additional savings. I just
Yeah.
kind of be curious to have the full financial picture.
So
when
can,
we're-
can
when
I
we're going
pause you
through.
for 1 second?
Of course.
So I think Brian puts together his monthly spend reports.
Yep.
So that's just your expenditure budget.
Yeah.
What I can work with Sarah on is for the next meeting, we can take a look at there's certain grants that we had to spend down at a certain time. There's certain ones that we had to wait until we were doing the thing that we could spend it.
Yeah.
So we'll do a revenue
Yeah,
where
perfect.
we're at.
Yeah, that's
for
what
next
I'm
meeting.
asking for. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so that'd be good.
Because
'cause
that's
that'll-
not
that'll-
something we're gonna put on Brian because it's not Brian's problem.
No, I was kind of more directing it towards you.
Yeah,
but,
no, just wanted to make it
yeah. So
clear.
this could actually help us too with
But we
this
can do
cost
that
too.
for
if,
November.
all of that. So we'll just
Sarah's the wizard behind the scenes, figuring out how we pay all the bills. So.
that's the key.
And Brian, it's your understanding that once the Mel generator is up and running, whether it's automated or by somebody flicking a switch, 100% of that campus will be operational both.
We've
fire-
been told that for sure, yeah, and then
That's-
some. I think
Yeah.
neighborhoods up and down the Main Street will also be powered too. That's a huge generator, can do a lot. Yep.
But we're working on the issue of if that huge generator quits, it's not gonna take 15, 20, 30, 35 minutes to fire it up again.
I don't know.
no, it's going to be,
They're working on doing some kind of automated
Yeah.
controls and trying to figure out, right, correct, Frank?
yeah.
And you have a testing schedule, so it's not they have to go every whatever.
Yeah.
It has to run regardless of whether there's an outage, right? You have a schedule for those to run, right?
Yeah, usually weekly they
That's
have to run them.
yeah.
Yeah, I don't think there's any contingencies if the generator stops running. I mean, that's a.
That is the contingency, so hopefully
Yeah, that is the contingency. Yeah, I think you got bigger problems than.
Well, if it's that bad, we can divert, by some flipping the switches, so to
switching
speak,
things.
and bringing power in another direction. So
Yep.
we're able to handle that as well.
Yep.
How do in the fire department, the garage doors, how do they go up and down? They're electric, are they not?
Yes.
They can be operated manually.
Is it like a chain fall that
Yeah.
can be used to operate them manually?
It's slow though.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a 14-foot door. It's not like you.
Yeah, you're gonna be there a while.
Yeah.
Be there for 10 minutes. Try and get that thing up.
You drive through it at that point.
All right.
They've
So,
tried that before.
anything else, folks?
So there was an update, I think, at the select board meeting, a couple meetings ago, about facilities director, that there are actually candidates for that at this point?
Yes. High level.
As we start to turn things on and it's.
Yeah, no,
gonna be
high
useful.
level update, because I haven't been able to update the select board yet, and it's not really on your agenda, but we are in finalist interviews with the facilities director position, and I hope to make an offer within the week.
So in theory, like in November, at some point, we could have a staff member that can start to be looking over things as systems are brought online,
In theory, it should be that they start in November.
Beautiful. That's good news.
just based on their availability more than anything.
Very good.
Yeah, and I think people that are in the level of position that we're looking at are typically giving 3 weeks to a month of notice, and we're seeing that across all municipal disciplines right now. that when you're hiring a department head level folks, they want to wrap things up with their current employer, so people typically are giving a little more time than they used to. But hopefully more to come. When I have more news, I will share it with this group.
Great.
You're right, and that'll have to be on the agenda as well. That'll have to be an agenda item.
Yeah,
Yeah.
just it's an informational update for me. There's no action, so.
I'm hearing nothing else?
No.
Motion to adjourn, folks?
Minutes?
Meeting notes?
Oh, meeting minutes, I'm
Yeah,
sorry.
August
Thank you.
and September.
Trying to get me. So it's August and September?
Yeah, because the last meeting you tabled the notes.
Yes, we did, that's right. Okay. Folks, have you had a chance to read through? We had them last week, you have not?
I have not, I'm abstaining.
Okey dokes. You've all read it, no comments, no edits? I thought they were good myself.
Yep.
Motion to approve, folks.
So made.
I don't, but so
I was gonna
it's
say, I don't know the date of the August meeting, so I don't have, but yes.
20th.
August 20th, yes.
So I move that we approve the meeting minutes from August 20th and September 17th as distributed.
Can I get a second?
Second.
All right, second from Frank. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All right, motion carries. I think that's all we have for business. All right. Anything else that I'm forgetting? No? All right.
November 19th, next meeting date.
November 19th will be our next meeting date. That sounds terrific. And I'll take a motion to adjourn, folks.
I'd like to make a motion to adjourn.
All right, we are adjourned. Thank you.